Once I have my flower or my plant sketched onto final paper, I can start experimenting with oil pastels. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is just grab some clean off paper. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side and clean these off. So remember, you're trying to scribble the tips, but also the side connected to the tip. Okay, you wanna clean these off because something like that is going to happen in the middle of your final piece, and you wanna avoid that at all costs. Okay, so oil pastels are very sticky. You wanna make sure that you get all the other color off of them prior to getting started, okay? Now, one thing I'm going to do prior to actually coloring on my final is I want to look at the colors in my piece. So this is the flower that I've chosen, and I want to look at the colors and see if I can gather as many colors as possible that I think might have a hand in making some of these colors. So for example, I have a white, I have a red. I'm also seeing a little bit of this pinkish color here that I might use. I also see some of this peach color here. So I'm cleaning that one off. And then this right here, I know this is a poor quality printed image, but this red here is a very dark red. And so that red may have a little bit of black in it. It may have a little bit of, gosh, maybe even blue in it, just depending. Okay, so I'm going to start trying to mix some of these colors on additional pieces of clean off paper, right? So to mix this color here, it's kind of a dark red. I'm gonna start by, again, just testing this out. I'm just messing just to see what I have. I'm gonna start by adding a layer of light black here. So I'm not pressing really hard with this. I'm gonna do one a little bit harder. And I'm gonna practice adding red over top. So when I add the red over top of this black, pressing hard, actually that looks good. It may be, even with that lighter one, maybe a little bit dark, I'm not sure. Let's see what it looks like with this one pressing hard. Yeah, this one is way, way, way too dark. Okay, so that almost looks like black. All right, so I'm gonna try this one more time. I'm gonna really let up on the black here, like super middle pressure. And then add that red over top. Yeah, this is looking a little bit better. So kind of between these two, that one's a little bit lighter, that one's darker. That might be good for the shadow down here. So I added my darker color lighter first and then locked in, kind of just pressed really hard with my lighter one to kind of seal the color, okay? Anytime a color looks a little bit dark, it's probably a shade of a color. So a shade just means you're adding black to it. If you have something that looks light or like a pastel version of a color, it's probably a tint of a color, meaning you're adding white, okay? So let me do a couple other tests here. So this color here looks similar, but it may have, I have to clean this off again, a little bit of red in it. So this maybe is not exact. It may have a little bit of red, a little bit of the peach in it. Okay, so if I'm mixing these two colors together, I'm gonna ask myself which the darker one is, and I'm gonna try and do that as my initial color. So adding this, let's do one lighter one because I think this is subtle. It's gonna be a subtle difference. Okay, so I'm gonna press pretty hard with my pink here and see what I get. Close. That one is a little bit lighter. I think I like that little bit lighter one for this area here. Okay, I can also even try blending it into a little bit of that right there. I may need something transitional, so let's see, what would this look like for this peach color here? If I did a little bit of my pink. So this one's a little bit harder than this one as the base. And I'm pressing kind of hard with this, pressing hard with this. So this is a darker peachish pink, lighter one. I could see in here as it fades up, it's that one, and then towards the top here, it may even be that one. This area here has a little bit of white in it, so I could even add a little bit of white into the mix at the top to lighten that, and that looks really nice. Okay, so I have some colors that are mixed to kind of get started, and so I tested a whole bunch of different things, just asking myself, okay, if it's a darker version, it probably involves black, that's a shade of a color. If it is lighter, it probably involves white in some capacity, so that's a tint of a color. And whatever my darker of my two colors was, I pressed really lightly, okay, just for the base. And I did a couple swatches, right, a couple different areas before I pressed harder with my lighter color to kind of seal them in. And so I think I have some good colors to get started.